Okay, so this video is going to be very fun and interesting to share. You know, the thing with sometimes calling a pharmacy when you need it is always the best way. I'm telling you why. And thank goodness I was trained that route too, because back then we didn't have the apps like we do now. We didn't have. We just started with these guys, but apps weren't all that widely available. Um, and also the pharmacy I've been to before that called Home Urgent Care. If anybody knows that one, I was with that pharmacy for a little bit before we swapped it with Walmart and Walgreens in general. But this is going to be about Walgreens, by the way. And I had to resort to old-fashioned way of getting two medicines that were on hold to get them ready to be picked up. And I'm going to tell you the timeline of what really went down, what transpired a little bit, and how did I resolve it pretty much from here, and how you can resolve it too. So, my first tip was um, always keep an eye on your orders. Like, I've been keeping an eye on my orders. I kind of refilled it, clicked to refill it as the last Thursday because they were going to the pharmacy to go get other things. Because we are in one household. So what it is, I went on to the Walgreens app and clicked on um, my prescriptions to refill, and they had two of them that were due, and I seen specifically, but they were necessary for me. So I went in last Thursday, which was March 13th. I went in, I went and clicked on refill, and I kept an eye on it like throughout yesterday. Saying, wait a minute, this don't seem right. Why did it not gone through? And fast forward to this afternoon, I kept checking it every so often. So why isn't this isn't going through? It was still being held in progress. Okay, that as I know that's not normal. Something on their end was glitching up, and it wasn't my fault. So So I had to consult my mom. So mom, this don't seem very normal. And I clicked refill like last Thursday on those specific two, but I could say what they were. Because one's major and one's major for blood pressure, and I can't skip a day on that one. Because sometimes if you skip a day, you run into some problems like heart attack and stroke, and that's not very fun. So what it is, she encouraged me to say, hey, you need to call the pharmacy. So I went on my app, clicked on the phone number, and I'll try to disguise it as much as I can. I'm gonna disguise the medication, but I'm gonna hide over it so you cannot see my meds. But anyways, so like I'm gonna hide over it. So right here where it says, I'm gonna hide over it. You can see it if you can. Right below your questions. So I clicked that number. Sorry, some personal information. So I kind of put my hand over it. So I clicked that hotline over there, and I didn't care about the robocalls. I didn't care about that. And thank goodness I knew the old way too to help me bypass some stuff. I was like, yeah, I need to speak with a rep. My medicines are being on delay, and it was something on their end that was glitching. So I had to try 2 and 3 times to get their attention. I was almost tempted to call my doctor too, but I realized my two had refills already, and they didn't need to do anything on their end. So I was like, after I left the first message with my provider, and I was like, after also try Walgreens again. I called, say, hey, please give me to a rep as soon as you can. And what it is say, hello, this is how I answered. Hello, my name is Hannah Fungi. I was born on such and such day. I have two medicines that were on hold, and something was going on to where I'm not getting that notification that they're ready or not. So the person on the other end picked it up and said, hey, we're going to get this refilled as soon as possible, and no sooner than about 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, it was ready to go. And after...
I want to go up.
Sorry about that. That was just my father. That's one of my garbage cans. Okay, just please bear with me. So after I got off the phone with the rep, and I had to go back to my usher and say, hey, my apologies. Just what went on is not their end. It was the pharmacy's end. So I had to clarify that with them. So this is going to be interesting to hear Monday. But anyways, luckily I was able to get to the bottom of it, knowing sometimes the old-fashioned way is always the best way, And also the fact I look in my stuff. I've been looking to see if I have a week's worth left in case they have an error and they don't have to correct the error. Or some things need renewal and it has to go to the darn doctor. And yeah, been there, done that, and hey, and if I gotta fight them to say, look, this is needed, this is day-to-day stuff, they better not be playing with me. Because you know what? I would not be afraid to get my mom on the line and say, look, you do not delay my daughter's crap. so yeah. So, so this is my little PSA for the day, And word of the wise, always check in on your stuff. Like, don't care what, check in on it. Sometimes it may be not their fault. It sometimes can be the computer's fault and they don't know when it's ready, and sometimes the things get so stuck. That's what the fun part I figured out. Then once I went with my father this evening, go get everything because he has stuff too, same place, and they finally read the idea saying it's been picked up. So yeah, hope it helps.